Trevor Noah's lesson for John Kelly: slavery caused the Civil War. John Kelly might want to find an elementary school class to hide in, because the backlash to his recent comments about the Civil War has been swift and scathing. Among the droves of people calling out the White House Chief of Staff for saying, among other things, that the Civil War stemmed from a lack of compromise were late-night hosts, who piled on Kelly for a snarky remedial history lesson. Leading the pack was The Daily Show's Trevor Noah, who kicked things off by comparing Kelly to a dad who shows you his gun on prom night. In an interview with Laura Ingraham on Monday, Kelly dropped a series of misguided comments, saying that Robert E. Lee was an honorable man and that those griping about the Civil War are merely applying the morality of today to yesteryear. It is perhaps worth noting that 48% of people polled in 2011 believed the Civil War was caused primarily by an argument over states' rights. Only 38% cited slavery as the root cause. You know what? John Kelly is right, Noah said sarcastically. There are a lot of despicable things in history that were accepted at that time that we don't accept today. We can change that. Like Crocs. It happened. But not all things in history are equally excusable like slavery. Because you realize, even at the time, half of America was against slavery. We know this because they fought a war. You know who else knew that slavery was wrong? Noah continued. All the slaves. Nobody was out there picking cotton thinking, hey, man, I wonder if in 200 years we'll realize that this was some shit we actually hated. Throughout Kelly's tenure in the White House, some have viewed him as the adult in the room, a ray of hope for those who just want the White House to get its act together. Unfortunately, Kelly might not be the man some had hoped. As Noah observed, we're starting to learn more and more that this guy is as Trump-y as the rest of them. You just didn't know it because you don't tweet. The bottom line? The lack of an ability to compromise didn't lead to the Civil War. Slavery led to the Civil War. There is a reason the movie isn't called 12 Years a Lack of Compromise. On The Late Show, Stephen Colbert was similarly unmoved by Kelly's take. Like Noah, the comedian pointed out that slavery was not considered morally upright by everyone in its time, including, for example, I am going to go out on a limb here, black people. But Colbert saved most of his ammo for the idea that a lack of compromise started the war, joking, we all remember John Wilkes Booth's famous cry as he shot Lincoln, can't we at least talk about this? What do you mean there was a lack of compromise? The Civil War happened because of compromise, the Missouri Compromise, the 3/5 Compromise. You were a general and you don't know why the Civil War happened? What do you think caused World War II? A zoning issue? I want to build a strip mall in the Sudetenland. Maybe some mixed-use housing in Poland. What is so wrong with that? Colbert even recited a letter from fictional Confederate soldier Buford Nathaniel Jessup to his dearest Elizabeth, describing the South's eagerness to compromise. Seth Meyers chimed in as well, but also made sure to hand the mic to late-night writer Amber Ruffin, who delivered her own scathing takedown. During his opening monologue, Meyers quipped, in an interview yesterday, White House Chief of Staff John Kelly said the Civil War was caused by a lack of ability to compromise. Even weirder, he said that Pearl Harbor was an air traffic control issue. I don't know why we ever thought there was a reasonable person working in Trump's White House. That's like going into a hot topic and asking to meet the rocket scientist. But the bulk of the fury came from Ruffin, whose frustration was palpable. The lack of compromise led to the Civil War? Lack of compromise. That's an awfully strange way to pronounce slavery, Ruffin said. It wasn't a lack of compromise that led to the Civil War. A lack of compromise led to the mullet. That is two different haircuts having a civil war on your head. And there is no winner. Abraham Lincoln, Ruffin pointed out, actually did try to compromise with slave owners. After all, as Atlantic writer Tawny Hissy Coates pointed out following Kelly's comments, Lincoln himself was not an abolitionist. He even proposed offering reparations to slave owners. You heard right, Ruffin said. Reparations to slave owners for losing slaves. If they offered slave owners reparations, you know we ain't never getting any. Another Ruffin fact check? Robert E. Lee being honorable. Honorable? His army kidnapped free black people and sold them into slavery. That is true. Not a lot of people know that because they left that part out of the statues. In the end, Ruffin dropped a fitting reference to, of all things, Tyra Banks in America's Next Top Model. You know the one we mean.